What's going on, Assassins? It's Darkstrider. And obviously, there is a large group who are very unhappy with Assassin's Creed Shadows. You know, calling for Ubisoft to just delay the release, cancel the release altogether, even making diss tracks. Check my last video if you want to hear all about the diss track. It's good, long story short. But anyway, I was trying to look up to see what's going on as far as Ubisoft's position on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Many of you had told me that they are pushing the narrative that this is absolute history. There's no mistaking it. They do believe that the Black Samurai existed, and they're presenting it as non-fiction. So I decided, let me poke around a bit. So I'm looking at Ubisoft's website, and one of the things that I found that I thought was really, really wild was the fact that they have a whole section where they talk about how Assassin's Creed, they have a bunch of things that they did not get right. And I thought that that was pretty amazing. Now, when I say that they didn't get it right, I mean in the games themselves, like the games that we've all seen, we've all played and whatnot. And the really interesting thing is that they kind of admit it. They say that, each Assassin's Creed game, everyone is different. It is heavily inspired and influenced by history, but they are works of fiction, as much as we'd love to believe it. Ezio Auditore never fought against Rodrigo and Cesare Borgia. Edward Kenway never unlocked the observatory. The Fry twins never fought the Templars for London's liberation. And then they say, if you want to know the facts behind the real-life settings that inspired the games, check out our ongoing Real History video series. Each entry takes a look at the city, people, architecture, and culture of a particular Assassin's Creed game. So they were really going for kind of like truth in this series. Now, the problem is, they started this series in 2020, so I guess that was obviously during the pandemic. All kinds of stuff happened, and they really didn't get far in the series. However, they only have a few videos in. It actually links to a YouTube channel, and I'll put a link in the description below. But there's only like 4 videos. There's only enough videos there that show, I think they went through the first Assassin's Creed and they got to either Brotherhood or Revelations. So they want to tell you the real history of what really happened and what they, basically flubbed, or not flubbed, but fibbed about. Because, of course, they're doing fictional stories. Now, to me, I think that would have been a great idea if they would have continued to go with it, especially with what's going on with Shadows. It would give them a chance to basically denounce that, no, we're not saying that this is actual fact, which everybody tells me that is how they're presenting it, that it's actual fact and not fiction, that they're trying to rewrite history. And honestly, every single Assassin's Creed game does have history, but it has things that are melded in, obviously. A bunch of fiction, things that never happened, things that didn't happen. Sometimes even the history itself does not happen in the order that it was supposed to happen historically, or it's their spin to explain certain things that happen. Like in Assassin's Creed 2, the poisoning of the Doge. They made it look like, the Templars did it and Ezio tried to save him. They blamed Ezio as the assassin. Of course, the Doge was actually poisoned historically, and there was an assassin, but not an Assassin's Creed assassin. Just somebody poisoned him or whatever. So it's things like that that they wanted to put into this game, and it's things like that that they wanted to explain in this series. However, they didn't finish it. They didn't go anywhere. They did like a couple of things, and honestly, it would make a lot of sense for a PR team to actually come out and say, hey, look, this is a work of fiction. These are the facts. This is the fiction. And, here's what really happened. And they go into it. They go into detail. That would make a lot more sense to me. That would be absolutely amazing. I've always been the person to come out and say, and I'll never forget this, somebody had come out and said, we don't play Assassin's Creed for the present day. We play it for the history. We're learning history. And immediately I pushed back. I said, no, you are not learning history. This is not a historical game. This is a game that is fiction. It's based on a character that never existed during a time period that did exist, and the person never ran into these fictitious characters or these historical characters. They ran into a bunch of other fictitious characters, yes, but not the way that they are presenting it. So, that's always been my major issue with this series. However, I think that if they would have continued the series, it would have actually helped. Now, I'm not saying that people are stupid and they need their hands held and they need to be spoon-fed information, but honestly, number one, it would have been very educational. And what's wrong with education? We could all use it. Why not? In fact, you may even find things that are way more interesting based on the history that you see. You might, learn something brand new. I mean, there's always room to learn. Number two, like I said before, it would give them an opportunity to denounce the kind of burden that they have right now, where they are being accused of kind of like pushing this narrative and forcing this brand new history on the player. Like, no, whatever you remember, whatever you learned in school, it did not happen. This is the way it happened. It would give them a chance to actually come out and denounce that. And I think that, especially with Assassin's Creed Shadows, that is very important that they come out and say something like that. Number three, I think that, a series like that would also kind of give them a little bit of promotion, because in all honesty, you're telling the truth. You're telling people, hey, look, this is the fact, this is the fiction, this is our sources, this is how we learned about this, that, and the third. Because really they should cite their sources if they have any sort of information on anything that's going on. That would make a lot more sense for them to do that. Not just simplistic things, but like all these complex nuances that we've got going on right now that many people who are against Assassin's Creed Shadows are talking about. Like, hey, look, this is what we mean when we say this. This is why we did this. It would just make a lot of sense. And I'm actually kind of, not sad, but I'm kind of disheartened that they didn't do that. They didn't follow through. But again, like I say, it's Ubisoft. They do these weird things. There's a freaking Watch Dogs movie that's going to be coming out. Nobody asked for that. Nobody's interested in Watch Dogs. Like, why would they do that? Because it's Ubisoft. That's why. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Should they have continued that series? And again, I'll try to put a link in the description below so that you could see the playlist. It's like 4 videos. I'm not even joking about that. But do you think that they should have continued that? Do you think that they should actually come out and denounce the fact from fiction when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because like I said, a lot of people are saying, no, they're forcing this narrative. They're forcing us to believe that this actually happened. So it would give them a chance to like come out and just say, hey, look, we're sorry, but this is the reality. And if they say that this reality is the reality, then, I mean, full stop. We gotta have a conversation with Ubisoft. Ubisoft needs to listen to the players. Anyway, once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a discussion about it. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you all in the next one.
Away.